So as you know, the van itself is beautiful and amazing and I love it. But one of the things that is very broken in this van is the stereo. If you try and turn it up, it turns up and... oh, it goes up. No. Yeah. Come on. Up. More volume. More. Nope. Ah, come on. Anyway, so you can see that there's a bit of an issue with the stereo. So that clearly needs to be replaced. Let me just make that adjustment. Ah, there it is, the much better. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I suppose you probably want to see how this was put in and what it is and why I chose it. Okay, let's do that. So the stereo system that I went for is this one, the SONY XAV-AX5000. It's that. You can read it for yourself. It's a terrible name. There was the one model down, the I think 4000 rather than the 5000. And the only difference was that that was a resistive touchscreen rather than a capacitive touchscreen. Apparently, the capacitive touchscreen lasts a lot longer. The resistive touchscreen, after a couple of years, might start getting a bit hazy and then get sort of gelatinous and hard to press after that. Ultimately, I went for it because of Android Auto, because hashtag Android Master Race. But if you have an Apple product, it works with that as well. So inside the box you have quite a hefty bit of kindling in many different languages, which is fantastic. You've got a little baggie here with a remote control, which comes in this weird circa 1960s yellow pouch. Maybe someone can tell me the reason for that, because I sure can't work it out. But once you get it out, it's a pretty looking remote, got all the necessary functions, and it's quite a bit remote-y and a fair bit control-y. Now, why on earth would you need a remote control for a thing that you can reach yourself? Well, eventually, once this van is turned into a camper, we'll potentially want to control the stereo system from the back, so yay. And the only other thing in that little bag was a bunch of screws. Mounting screws, I imagine. Then you pull up this bit of cardboard to reveal the unit itself. So let me fish that out. Now, if you've watched any other video on this unit, you will know that it's a single DIN mount for a double DIN display, which really is very bizarre, as you can see there. Now, frustratingly, what none of the other videos seem to do is actually give you a proper look of the back. Lots of them were focused on the screen and the interface and how to use it and blah, 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 and of course I'll do that as well, but none of them actually showed you what this thing actually looks like from below and underneath. So there you go. It's, okay, I can probably see why they didn't do it now. It's pretty boring and self-explanatory. Right! So here's all your different connections at the back. You've got your wiring harness that goes into all of these. And there are your connectors for your RCAs, your reversing camera, antenna plugs, etc., etc. I'm sure that many of you will understand this better than I ever will. And finally, hidden away in the box are all the wires. So with all the colors of the rainbow, you have got the wiring harness, which is nicely labeled, which is handy. And you have the actual microphone for the Bluetooth. That comes with what I imagine is a fairly generic little clip housing to, well, I suppose it will go like this, won't it? To be near the driver's mouth or the center of the car, however you want to put it. And it's just like every other Bluetooth microphone you've ever seen in your entire life. And the connector in the back is just your standard headphone jack, which is interesting. So potentially you could use this for something else, but I don't think the quality is very good. And then there's just this little jobby, which is, sticky stuff, double-sided padded tape for mounting. And back to the kindling just for a second. It does have a reasonably detailed wiring instruction on how to actually get it all hooked up. But preposterously, and I understand that it's a cost-saving exercise, but if you have coloured wires, don't have a black and white diagram. Come on, guys. And this here will be the solution for the reversing camera, just a cheapo little camera that I got from JB. So inside the box itself, you get the actual camera. So it is either mountable under the license plate with these little two nubs on the top, or you can actually drill a big fat hole in the back of your car and have it pointing out the back if you wish. Inside the box you've also got the entirety of the wiring harness, and this little jobby is actually the drill bit that you can use to drill the exact size hole in the back of your car if you choose to go down that route for the camera to poke out of. I'm guessing it's just like the front that pokes out of it. You'll see in a second. And inside the bag You've got the extent of the wiring harness that you will need. So you have got your RCA for the video signal and the power connections, as well as connectors to your reversing lights to actually enact the thing when you put it in reverse. This is the drill bit that I was talking about. So you've actually got a normal drill bit inside, and this screws onto the top. I think I can do it with one hand now, but that actually unscrews. So you can, I guess you get a free drill bit if you're after that exact one. There's also a bit of padding and the screws here. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but my padding seems to have been overstamped. So it's got like a million different indentations there. It's probably not super clear on the camera, but I don't know whether that's a feature or a manufacturing error. I would wager the second one. There is a bit of an O-ring kind of situation that goes around the camera if you were to drill it into the back, but I'm not going to do that, but that's there for you. And an extension RCA cord for getting it from the back of the car to the front. And of course your obligatory bit of kindling. Now when it comes to installing things, I'm about as handy as a straw hat in a thunderstorm, so I'm going to outsource the fit out. Let's go. So the one point of clarification I wanted to make is that you can run this system in two different ways. The way I've got it running at the moment is just through Bluetooth into the system, and you can play whatever you want to play. And then the radio just simply serves as a clock and a selector for what you want to play. You can make phone calls on it, you can have your two different USBs running. Your alternative is to hardwire it in. So in my case, it's in the glove box. So once you plug the phone in, basically the phone becomes disabled so far as a phone goes. And then you are given the Android Auto interface instead. Then you have your different buttons, so you've got navigation, phone, the home button, audio, which if you click it twice gives you lots of different options for the different apps that will run. So you can see I'm running their Podcast Addict and Audible. You've got Google Play Music and Spotify and various other things. And holding the option gives you voice command over Google.
Ah, that's better. Now the stereo system is truly incredible. Crispy sounds. The tweeters are a bit too high, so in the custom settings you really do have to turn those down and make your own custom wave, mostly bass, and reduce the tweets. The tweeters are actually, what are they called? Tweeters? I don't know. The high producing speakers. They're maneuverable, so you can actually twist them up and into the cabin, which means the sound is really nice and crisp. Yeah, I haven't got a subwoofer in it, and so the bass is... it's alright. But a vast improvement from what I had. Not to mention being able to say, okay, Google, navigate me to the nearest campground, bada bing, bada boom, and then it will tell you where to go. So anyway, is it the best head unit that you could possibly buy? No. Is it the most expensive one? No. And obviously it works as a phone, so you can hold the options button down, speak to it, it will call whoever you want to call. If you've received a text, it will read it to you, ask you if you want to reply, all that sort of really good stuff. So super helpful for hands-off, and the navigation and the music, which really is the point. So that's the end of episode 2. Thank you for watching, as always. In the next episode, we'll probably be trying to make the back of the van a little bit more habitable, try and work out a bedding situation for the interim, seeing as though we don't have the van converted as yet. And I'm probably going to be looking at trying to get a tent extension, more than likely at the back, because the side will have an awning attached to it eventually as well, hopefully soon. And the other thing we want to do is chop out some panels in the side and put some windows in. So, a bit of work to do. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, press the bell notification button. Don't forget to turn off lights in the house that you're not using, because that's just a waste of electricity. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!